Alrighty, now we'll be running through our Game 1 State of Origin predictions and who we think should have been in the team. So we'll go through the New South Wales team first of all. We've got Dylan Edwards, Brian To'o, Stephen Crichton, Suali'i, Lomax, Luai, Hines, Trebojevic, Robson, Haas, Martin, Crichton, and McInnes in the starting team. And on the bench in the reserves, Yo, Olaquadu, Lenu, Young, Burton, Keary, and Barnett. So, Rick, who do you think missed out here, or are you surprised by this team?
Yeah, a little bit surprised. I think the biggest robbery by far is Appy missing out on that number 9 spot to Reece Robson. He's probably the best dummy half in the game at the moment. He's definitely been the leading force or the driving force of the Tigers' couple of wins that they've had this season, and they would have probably not even won a game without him. So, bit surprised why they didn't go Appy. I think picking Jake as captain is more of New South Wales trying to emulate Queensland in the sense that I think they want their identity to be like tough, pick guys that are playing for their state or are really passionate about their state, because Jake Trebojevic is definitely as tough as it gets. And I was expecting Yo to be captain with obviously Tedesco not being picked. But Yo's on the bench as well. I probably would have had Yo starting over Cam McInnes, but Cam McInnes has played really well this season. Lomax under the high ball will be absolutely massive for the Blues as well. So that's a massive pickup. I think Latrell was starting to get fit, and he had a really, really good game against Paro on the weekend, but maybe he probably gets picked for game 2 when he starts getting his fitness back on track. But I think New South Wales are just trying to emulate Queensland with the squad that they've picked. And yeah, again, Nicho Hines, yeah, he definitely deserves it. Same with Dylan Edwards. The talk was definitely Teddy, Dylan Edwards, who do they pick? And it's a gutsy pick, to be honest, to drop your captain and go for Dylan Edwards. So I think they're trying and having a new identity, this New South Wales side. So interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. I think Tedesco being completely left out of the squad was pretty shocking for me. I think they don't really have too much utility in the backs off the bench and in the reserves. So I think a bit of a shock there. Teddy, yeah, like he's been obviously in that number 1 jersey for New South Wales for a long time, and he's had a lot of success there. So I'm not sure why he's been completely left out of the side. It's a bit of a shock, to be honest. They're definitely just trying to copy Queensland with this side, like historically picking just star talent and then trying to make them play together. But it feels like they're trying to pick hard workers who really can build a strong foundation for New South Wales moving forward. Like, it's great to see Olaquatu in the team, even though he's on the bench. Like, he definitely has deserved that spot. Latrell, yeah, although Latrell said, like, he ended a lot of the speculation saying, yeah, he's available and stuff, still missing out, is a bit, it's rough for him, but it's probably deserved or warranted, I'd say. He hasn't had the best of seasons, but I think last week he looked a lot fitter. He looked more in shape and was more involved around the ball. So bit of a shame there, but yeah, I don't know how good this New South Wales side will be, but I think it's a step in the right direction for them for sure. And then moving on to this Queensland team, Rick's got he's got his Queensland jersey on. Run through that side. So we've got Reece Walsh, Xavier Coates, Valentine's Holmes, The Hammer, Murray Taulagi, Tom Dearden, Cherry Evans, Ruben Cotter, Ben Hunt, Lindsay Collins, Prince Charming, Jaden Sewer, Jeremiah Nene, Paddy Carrigan, and off the bench in the reserves, we've got Harry Grant, Fodawaker, Jermaine Hopgood, Cobbo, Kafusi, Piakura, and Ezra Mam. What are your original thoughts with this side, Rick?
I'm pretty happy with the team that's been picked. I probably would have started Cobbo over Coates, but I guess Coates gives you that length. He can get under that high ball really well. So that's probably the main reason why he's there. Also maybe for the defensive side as well. But I would have loved to see Cobbo in the form that he's in, get that starting spot. Pretty happy with the centers. I think you don't really go wrong with Val Holmes and Hamaso. Like, they're both Origin players. They just step up on the big stage, so that should be good. Going for Tom Dearden over Ezra Mam, I think it's probably the right call to make just because Dearden's had that Origin experience. He's been on that stage before, so good pick from Billy Slater there. Again, I'm pretty happy with the side. Harry Grant over Ben Hunt, I probably would have had as well, but I don't really think it matters. I think it's more of a tactical selection to have Grant off the bench and come in, at the end of the first half or even the start of the second half to really elevate Queensland's pace through those dummy halves and in the middle. So, this is a really, really solid lineup for the Maroons, and looking forward to it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, as much as a Broncos fan I am, I think Dearden deserved that starting spot over Ezra Mam. He's experienced in the Origin arena, so not really a shock there that they went with Dearden. Pretty happy to see Jaden Sewer back in Origin again. I think his last time in there was, 2021. And he's had a great season with the Dragons, so really good to see him earn a spot again. Kafusi back in the side, that's really good. That's just that enforcer experience, real Queenslander toughness that we've got there. I think Cobbo should feel a bit annoyed maybe. I don't know what the conversations he's having with Slater are, but there's definitely a reason he's on the bench in that utility role, where I think Slater came out and explained that in the last 4 out of 6 Origins, Queensland's had an outside back get injured. So I guess it kind of makes sense having Cobbo on the bench when he can just come in at centre, wing, fullback. So I think that's good for that Slater clarified that. I really think for Feeder, he should be a bit annoyed that Hopgood made it in over him. He's the only debutant on the playing team at the moment. He's leaving David Feeder completely out of the side was a bit of a shock, but it also wasn't. I think Fafita would acknowledge that he hasn't been in the best form of his career this year, and he can play to a much higher standard. And then there's also reports coming out that Harry Grant is quite ill. He missed training the other day. And we wonder if that's mind games by the Queensland camp. But
it's probably mind games. They've done this in the past before. Do you remember that one year where they all had gastro? I think it was 2016. It was pretty funny. I'm a big Fletch and Hindy fan, so I love watching all those episodes, especially around Origin time. And I remember when they were interviewing the Maroon side, I think Fletch had a bit of a bit of a cold or sickness. And then they did a video that Brian Fletcher gave Queensland gastro, and they were just full taking the piss out of that. But yeah, I think Queensland, they love to play a bit of mind games before the game. But no, I think Harry Grant's more of a tactical move, and I'm with you on Fafita. I probably would have had him in there. He's played for Queensland a number of times, and yeah, he hasn't been in the best of form, but even still, he's just such a talented player. He can do so much, and he's such an X factor to have on the edge. So I would have loved to seen Fafita, but he'll probably get picked for game 2 or game 3, I reckon. Once he starts picking up his form for the Titans, who did pick up a massive win against the Broncos, so that's a step in the right direction for him. So Sam, let's get your prediction out. Who do you reckon will win this game and why?
I'm starting going with Queensland. I think the experience is just too much for New South Wales to handle. Although New South Wales picking a team that I think will take them into the right direction. I just think the experience of Queensland in this one will be too much for the Blues. Although the game is in Sydney.
I think it's in Melbourne.
It's in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think the Queenslanders have got this one.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it'll be a really, really close game. Honestly, I think Queensland are slightly better on paper, but it's pretty much very even on paper. I think it'll just come down to who wants it more. Honestly, game 1, anything can happen. The pace of the game will be so fast. But I'm picking Queensland to win. I'm only worried that Queensland might take the approach of the New South Wales of old, just because they've played together. They might have a bit of an ego. Maybe it's more Reece Walsh, and I'm the biggest Reece Walsh fan and the biggest Broncos fan, but I don't know. Something's telling me they could just do a New South Wales and just pick the best players, and Queensland might just play. I don't know. I've just got a feeling that New South Wales are going to play a more Queensland style, and Queensland might play a more New South Wales side. But you never know. I'm picking Queensland to win by like 4 points.
Yeah, it'll be real tight. But yeah, Reece Walsh just brings that X factor. I mean, Dylan Edwards, so happy to see him in the side. He's going to do all the fundamentals around stuff, but Reece Walsh can just create something out of nothing. So
The only problem with Reece is that he can make a lot of mistakes too. So he's either just going to be that X factor, like, making massive plays, or he'll have, that string of, 3 or 4 knock-ons, and that could really cost Queensland. So that's the only thing I'm worried about with Queensland.
yeah, and even if he does make those mistakes, he just got to keep attacking, like keep looking for options, because that's when he plays his best, is really when he's on the front foot, looking eyes up and just taking what's in front of him. He just sprints through gaps. He just creates them. I don't know how he does it, but it's pretty magical to watch. So yeah, Queenslanders, they've got this one.
Yeah, so both of us picking Queensland. Definitely no bias at all on that.
No bias.
Yeah, no, that's our Origin picks and selections. Thank you very much for watching our video. Give us a like and subscribe. And we'll be providing you with more predictions and content. Cheers.